Hey everybody, let's do some farming. And away we go. This is the Ponsse tree cutter in Farming Simulator 2015. I'm using FS15 because I haven't bought the forestry equipment on FS17 and I can't wait for FS19 to come out here in a couple of months. But we're going to show you how to operate this thing, and hopefully you'll learn something. It's not an easy piece of equipment to operate. It's probably one of the hardest on any of the farming simulators, because you have to do a lot of things at the same time to be able to make the tree fall the way that you want it to and still harvest it. This is an actual piece of equipment. I've seen one of these in action in Georgia here in the United States several years ago, and it was so new to the United States that they actually had to send an operator with it from, I believe it's Switzerland they're made in, because nobody in that state actually even knew how to run one of these. It's used for selective thinning. You see by the tracks, it's got a very wide footprint. It doesn't tear up the ground too much, and it's basically a piece of equipment that won't tear up somebody's property when they just want to go in and cut out the good timber and leave the rest of the timber still standing. So we're going to get it lined up here in front of this first line of trees. You can drive down the middle of two trees, two lanes of trees, and cut them both at the same time, but we're just going to make this easy and just cut one line. You want to get yourself lined up really well with the timber that you're going to cut, and you keep the angle of the boom just about like that. If you put the boom out too far, you're going to put a lot of load on the tractor and possibly turn it over. So keep it about like that, and you'll have enough distance between you and the stem that you're cutting, and you won't put it in the cab with you. So we're going to pull forward here in just a second. I'm overdubbing this, and I don't know how long of a break I took to explain that to you. Top left corner, you'll see the controls that we're going to use, and you'll see it just lit up where it says cut, the X button. Now we want to get the cutting head at the right level that we want to cut the stem. You can't cut it too high because you'll leave too high of a stump to be able to drive over after you cut this and pull up to the next tree. So drop the head down till it touches the ground, then raise it up a little bit. I'm going to pull forward here just a little bit, and then I'm going to hit the X button, and it's going to cut the stem. But after I cut it, I have to do something with it, because if I just cut it, it's just going to fall wherever it wants to, and that's the part of this this operation that's difficult. You have to rotate away and let the cutting head drop the tree, because it flops around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to pick it up a little bit and rotate to the left with the cab, not turning the tractor, but with the cab, and that will allow the tree to fall within the other trees that's to the right of it. And then you can process the tree and cut it up into the pre-cut lengths that I've got set for, I think, 8 meters, the longest logs I can cut. And we're going to cut this thing here any second, and you'll watch, there it goes, pick it up, rotate to the left, and let the tree fall. And once it's on the ground, let it stabilize a little bit, and then we'll hit the X button again here in a second. Those little arms that are holding it, those are the delimbers. Those will cut off the limbs of the trees as it goes through, and then the saw comes down, cuts it. Hit the X again, comes through, cuts that. You see all the limbs disappear. That's called thrash. It's a logging term. You wouldn't understand all that. And then we're going to go back outside the tractor. And the reason I told you to make sure you cut it low, we're going to take a 360 degree, try to get dizzy view. You want that stump cut low enough because you're going to have to drive over it. And I want to get myself lined up here a little bit, so I'm center line with it, and I'll pull forward, come around here and show you. Look, that stump's cut low enough, I can drive over it. If it's not cut low enough, your tractor will hit the bottom of it and you'll get hung up. And You can back up and recut it again if that was to happen to you. But we'll come back forward. We'll get ourselves lined up with this next tree to cut. And we'll pull forward until top left corner. You'll see we'll get the cut. There it is right there. So we know we're close enough. Now when you hit the X button, those arms are going to grab hold of that tree, and you've got it. So you've got to do something with it. You got to make it fall. If you don't fell it the right way, you'll have stuff cut everywhere. So when you go to pick up this wood, you want it all in one area. So we got that one cut, and once it's cut, the cutting head will rotate back to its starting position where you can go cut the next one. And we'll pull forward here again. Different views that you can use. I like when I'm cutting the actual tree to use the in-cab view. I'll use this view to get lined up with it, and then I'll go back to this, and that way I can see, okay, I've got it cut. I'll make it fall. It's going to level out, and then I'll process it and cut my logs. We're going to cut a bunch of logs for Ma and Pa Kettle out in Oklahoma to build a swing set that will probably get blown away in a tornado. But that's their choice. All right, we're going to pull forward this next time. I'll show you a different view of, if you like the outside view. I personally, I don't like it. I'm going to dodge this stump a little bit and make sure I'm still on line. And pull forward. And I'll drop it down to the ground until it touches. Raise back up a little bit. And hit the X button. I don't like this view, but some other people may. I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't think I reacted the same way, and I don't have it as far out as I wanted to throw the wood out. But that's completely up to you. And you'll see too that I was so close now, those logs are kind of rolling back towards my tractor, and I don't want one to get up underneath the track of the tractor itself. It'll throw you off. You can certainly get around it, but it's just kind of make you mad a little bit. So we're going to pull up and cut this next one, and I purposely kind of did something here to not make the tree fall. I'm lined up, I can cut it. See, I kind of rotated and I stopped right there, bumped the ground, and look what happened. It's hung up in the trees, so you got to make it fall. Several different ways you can do this. I'm just going to lift the tree up with the main boom and make it fall. You can do different things, even if you have to back up the tractor a little bit, go forward with the tractor, just make the stem fall on the ground before you try to process it. If you don't, you'll end up with your tractor turned over, and then you won't have a tree cutter anymore. So we'll pull forward a little bit again, and I think we've got time to cut one more. I'm using Bandicam to record with. It's the unpaid version, so I don't have a whole lot of time, like 10 minutes of recording. And I'm also using an Xbox controller. I try to explain to you which controller does what, but I probably would just confuse the daylights out of you. So if you're using an Xbox controller, you'll just have to get used to the buttons. You probably won't be able to make this operation go smoothly if you try to use the keyboard method. There's just so much to do at the same time that you're going to have some kind of controller to be able to rotate and lift and turn and all the things you have to do at one time. So some kind of controller is going to be beneficial to you to get this thing to operate. And we'll I don't know if we get to cut another one or not. I'll do another video after this one to show you how to load it onto the forwarder. We do get to cut one more. Watch it fall. Oh, logging's fun. Actually, the forwarder is even harder to operate than this is. And I wish that FS would come out with some kind of track loader to load it on to a log truck. The forwarder is kind of a pain in the butt. It can be done, but it's frustrating. But that's how you operate the Ponsse tree cutter on FS15. I'm sure that it's the same as FS17 and we're probably the same on FS19. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave me in the comments and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Thanks. Bye.